Opening day of deer season was Saturday in the state of Virginia. Unfortunately, we've been dealing with the remnants of Hurricane Ian coming through up this way, so it's been nothing but constant rain and wind to start the season off. And today's the first nice day I've had a chance to get out in the woods. Let's grab some gear and head on into the woods. Our ever trusty harness. Our backpack. And today we're going to be taking the climber, just so that way there we have a few options. Now before we go, I'm going to spray down everything with a little bit of this scent-free spray. I'm not real sure if this stuff works or not, but you know, it makes me feel better, so I continue to just keep on doing it. That's a really good question for those of you out there who hunt. How many of you actually use a scent reduction or a scent reducing spray on all your gear before you head out? Comment down below. And tell you what, I am out of practice climbing a tree. Let's discuss what drew me to this area. This area has a great parking lot and access road not too far to the north. Instead of taking that access road all the way down toward the end and into the woods like the majority of hunters, I veered off the normal path and followed this creek bed to my hunting location. Now, one of the things that draw me to this area is the fact that there's two great bedding thickets directly to the east and west of where I'll be looking for a tree to hang my stand. In addition to those bedding areas, there's also a small field directly to my north and a vein of mature oak trees leading between those two thickets along this creek bed and up toward that field. Now, what I'm expecting as the day progresses and the deer start to move, I'm expecting them to start to move out of those bedding thickets and north toward this creek bottom, following it up through this vein of oak trees toward this field where I'm hoping to intercept them. At this point, I caught a glimpse of another deer making its way toward me. This was another doe, and I could faintly make out the remnants of spots. That means this mother and fawn are going to get a pass. I continued watching for the next few minutes as the deer worked their way behind me. And then, both deer literally laid down about 50 feet directly behind me. At this point, it was about 1 o'clock. Now, this was actually a first for me. I've never had any type of deer come in and actually bed down anywhere near where my stand is, let alone within about 50 feet. Now, I did have the wind in my favor, and the fact that they were directly behind me. I did have a lot of cover between the tree that I had climbed and some of the surrounding brush and other trees that were nearby. Nonetheless, it was pretty cool to sit there and watch these deer. You know, sometimes we get wrapped up in chasing the biggest bucks, and we kind of take for granted these type of moments. Like watching a mother and a fawn bed down for an afternoon nap. It really kind of just helps you reconnect with nature. As we got further into the evening, another group of does popped out. Now these were good, healthy-looking, mature does, and I was faced with a dilemma. On one hand, I would love to put some meat in the freezer, especially a nice, mature doe. And on the other hand, it would be a fairly long drag, and it was getting late. Now, I don't want to sound lazy, but I had some other plans for later in the evening, and I didn't know if I really wanted the amount of dedicated time it was going to take to field dress, drag, and take this deer to the processor before I got home. After watching these deer for a little while, and kind of going back and forth in my head what I should do, I decided that I was going to let these does pass. Now I know what a lot of you might be thinking, that I must be crazy for letting such a nice, mature doe walk by. And believe me, you're probably right. But we'll find out as the season progresses if I look back and I end up regretting this choice.